In her latest piece for Semafor, our next guest says that Middle Eastern governments have been buying aggressively for Western assets. Join us right now with more on all of this. Liz Hoffman is here from Semafor's business and finance editor, columnist, writer, all
whatever
things,
you want.
all things. So what's happening here? And is Forbes really a strategic asset, as great an asset as it may very well be?
That's obviously the question. I think if you stop most people on the street, with all due respect to Forbes, and ask them whether any magazine is a strategic asset, they would say, of course not. I think it tells you two things. One is sort of just how aggressive national security regulators are being, and sort of what they view the next war, right? One of information and propaganda, much softer forms of power from all around the world. The other is just the only, bipartisan issue in Washington right now is this really economic hawkishness. America First nationalism is pretty bipartisan.
So what's going to happen in the particular instance of Forbes? What's the state of play?
Our understanding is that they have this majority investor, an Indian billionaire, right. And there are some concerns about where his money comes from and whether that will get through the National Security Panel, CFIUS.
They're already owned by the Chinese, aren't they?
They are owned by a group of Asian investors. Very good point. Somehow that does not exempt them from a de novo examination this time around. I mean, look, this guy made most of his money in Russia during a period where doing that perhaps raises some question marks about exactly who you're dealing with. I would note he has one remaining investment in the country as far as we know, and he stepped off the board of a defense contractor back after Russia invaded Crimea. So I think some of this is noise, but the truth is when you get to Washington and you get in front of these regulators, it doesn't really matter. If there's a question mark over the deal, you have to fix it.
But how much do you think this is about this deal versus sending a signal? I actually read your article and thought, obviously you've got lots of sources. I don't know who they are. But is somebody trying to send a broader message to the business community about who you're selling to and how Washington's thinking about it?
I think that message has clearly been sent. And again, the sort of action point in this story, because we, try to ground these things in facts, is that their bankers are out there scrambling, calling private equity firms, calling family offices, anyone with a kind of blue chip American name who might make this foreign investor, who's currently the majority of the consortium, into a minority investor. And
do you think any American private equity investor or others want to be associated with this now that this is in question?
I don't know why that would necessarily turn them off. There's a question of, do they want to own, an iconic but frankly less relevant magazine that used to be. Though that said, Forbes does still seem to make a lot of money, and it is big in Asia, which is why you're starting to see, the last buyers were from Asia, and these are from the region as well. Right. That brand does really have a lot of equity.
But most
overseas.
of the folks who bought in are not classic sort of private equity or venture investors in Forbes. I mean, at this point, it's sort of do you look at this as like a trophy sort of premium, and some people are paying a premium that from a classic business model perspective wouldn't pay a premium? Yeah,
I think that's right. I mean, that's most media deals these days. There's some value. I think Mark Benioff paid $100 million for Time magazine a couple of years ago. It's hard to argue it's still worth that. Right. No, but the real concern here is, can they get someone in the cap table that gets them comfortable that this will get through Washington?